Welcome back, and joining us is our data and information analyst Babajide Ogunsanwo. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to always be here.
Okay, so Babajide, today we're looking at the economy, imports, exports, capital import, and all of that to Nigeria. What have you discovered?
Several things, Gimba. What would you call a 58-year-old man that still lives with his parents?
Oh dear. Okay.
Oh dear.
What a way to start.
So there are three ways you should quickly look at this. The first is, there's a reason why the federal government should be celebrated. We should clap for them. And that's because today, based on the recent report we have on capital imported into the country in the first half of the year, $11.8 billion in the first half of this year. That is the highest in 5 years. So yes, we should clap for them. But there's also the second side of the story that says we should slap them. And that's because even though $11.8 billion is the highest amount of capital that has come into the country in the first half of the year compared to previous 5 years, a lot of that money is short-term. Here's what I mean. What the country really needs is the long-term investment, the foreign direct investment. And so this year, out of the $11.8 billion of capital that has come in, just approximately $500 million is long-term foreign direct investment. The rest of that money, loans, money market, short-term investments.
Hold on. Let's just go on a quick break. We'll come back and you tidy up on this. Please don't go away. So Jide Ogunsanwo is still here. Jide, we're talking about $11.8 billion that has come into the country, but you also said it was short-term money.
Yeah, because the $11.8 billion is the first of the three things that we should touch on. The highest, $11.8 billion, the highest in the first half of this year compared to previous first halves in the past 5 years. So that's good news. But the second out of the three things I want to talk about is a lot of that money is short-term. Here's what I mean. In 2014, the first half of 2014, approximately $1 billion of long-term money, which is called foreign direct investment, came into the country. Right now, in the first half of this year, just about $500 million, half of what came in the first half of 2014. So we've seen, yes, more money coming into Nigeria, but again, it shows that the structure of the country has changed. We're moving from a nation that people see as a nation that long-term money should go into to one where short-term investors are more interested in. And the third and final thing is, where is all of this money coming from? China? No. More than half of this money, Gimba, still comes from the United States and the United Kingdom. So out of the $11.8 billion that has come in the first 6 months of this year, $6.8 billion of it has been from only two countries. And that's why we ask that a 58-year-old man that is still tied and still living with his parents, how do we get out? Is China an option? Perhaps not. Because even though we're looking at a lot of trade relations with China, we're importing significantly more from China than we're exporting. So there's a huge deficit.
What should we do?
We need to look inwards. We need to look at opportunities to consider other arms of capital. Here's what I mean. Rather than focus on only capital, two other parts we should focus on: labor and land. And let's talk about labor quickly, and we'll talk about land some other time. We're looking at today's economy. 51 million people have full-time jobs, but approximately half of those that have full-time jobs are in the agricultural sector. So we need to ensure that we move the agricultural sector from being a rural-driven sector to a more mechanized solution. That is one way we can attract more investment. A lot of the money that currently comes into the country isn't coming into the agricultural sector. Out of all this huge money, only 2% came into the agricultural sector. More is going into banks and into buying shares. And these investors are selling them. So we need to focus more on products that we can drive using agricultural sector. And again, in the final analysis, we should remember that whatever happens, we need to think more long-term than short-term.
Thank you very much. Babajide Ogunsanwo was our data and information analyst. Thank you for sharing your thoughts as we think long term. And that's the show today. Thank you so much for being such fantastic company, for all the comments and views I posted. Thank you. I'm Nel Igwe.
Now I'm Gimba Umar.
Oh yeah, you won't believe what a week it's been. Thank you for watching. I'm Chamberlain also.
Have a great weekend, everyone. I am Ajuri Ngelale.
The views and opinions expressed by guests on this program are those of the maker and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, and endorsement of Channels Television.